What's up, guys? This is Matt Cameron, and today we're going to be going through how to boost a post using Facebook ads. Now, specifically, because boosting is so easy, we're mainly going to be going today through how to define an audience for your boosted post. That's the key piece of this, really. There's a couple other settings we'll be going through, but this is the biggest one. So I'm very clearly on the Cameron Digital Consulting page. With that being said, I'm going to choose one of our posts, in this case, this one right here, Boost Post, and press the Boost Post button. I'm sure you've seen this Boost Post button before. This enables you to do quick advertising just to get your content out in front of people. Now, if you're actually going to be running ads, I recommend using the Facebook Business Manager where you can run actual and legitimate ads. We'll be going through another video on that. For now, this is just how to boost a post and get it in front of your the right audience and the right people. So in order to do it, go to your page or go to a page that you own, and you will see the Boost Post button on every post on this page. I'm gonna go ahead and press it, and we'll pop out with this guy. Now, this could be a little bit daunting if it's your first time. The good news, it's really not that bad to go through together. I want to show you a couple of things. First of all, the objective on the left-hand side here, this is going to be different by the type of post that you have. This is a video post, and so you see here the results, get more people to watch your video. So this is a video views objective, or connect and chat with potential customers, which would be a message-based campaign. This one, the message-based campaign, will have a call to action that says connect with Cameron Digital Consulting that people can click to send us a message, whereas video views is just going to be focused around getting us the cheapest dollar per view there is. Now, I do want to show you, I'm going to cancel this ad, what it looks like if we were to boost a image. You see we could do get more people to react, comment, and share. This would be an engagement-based campaign where we would be paying primarily for, again, likes, comments, and shares, or we can do a message campaign. Now I'm going to cancel this. Oops, that's not what I meant to do, but that's all right. I'm going to boost this post, and now I'm going to scroll down a little bit. You see post button optional. That puts this guy at the bottom. Do you see this bottom half to this post where it says learn more and it has a little bit about us? That's all defined from here. So you can say no button, which will get rid of that section, or you can define a button. In this case, I'm going to say this is a purely engagement-focused campaign, so I'm not going to put a button there. However, if you were sending people to a landing page or something, you could choose any of these things like Shop Now, obviously, and that will add in the button down beneath once it loads. There you go. So that would be how you would add a call to action. I'll tell you what, we'll leave it in there for now. Choose a link for this button. This should be self-explanatory. Just copy paste the link wherever you want to put this. Special ad category. If you are a real estate agent, you can see for credit, employment, or housing offers, you do need to check this. It limits your targeting settings. Assuming that you are not one of them, let's go through the rest of this. Audience is the biggest section here that we care about. We're going to go through this one last, or at least next, because of how big it is. After that, you'll see automatic placements. Now, automatic placements is an interesting one because what this does is it selects either Facebook or Facebook and Instagram, as well as where on those platforms your ads show. So let's go through this very quickly. Automatic placements recommended. I'm going to turn this off, and you'll see it shows Facebook has to be checked. Instagram does not. I'm going to turn off Instagram because I only want my post to go out to Facebook people. So I'm going to turn off Instagram by doing that. And then I'm going to go down duration and budget. My recommendation for a boosted post just to get engagement would be $1 a day for 5 days to see what it does. So in this case, if we were going to do that, it would be 5 days. Let's do $5. And then you can see how many people it'll reach per day. You'll see how much you'll spend per day. Great. Now, when we scroll down to the bottom, you'll see account right here. I'm going to drop this down and select the Cameron Digital account because you want to make sure that you're selected on the right account, especially if you have access to multiple ones. So hang on one second. All right, so now that we have this selected, Cameron Digital, which is the correct account, I'm going to scroll back up to the audiences. This is the last piece of boosting a Facebook post that we have to worry about. It says people you choose through targeting is the default setting. That is correct, but we're going to have to edit that. So you can see there are some recommendations here. I typically, most of these you're going to ignore for now. You're going to click on the edit button on the right-hand side, unless you've already done this, in which case you can choose the audience that you've already created. So go ahead and press the edit button, and now we're going to define the audience. This is the most interesting part of running Facebook ads, is defining the audience because of how specific you can get. Now, we haven't quite talked about this yet, but let's say that for the sake of Cameron Digital Consulting, because of course I cater to businesses and to business owners, I would love to target people who own their own e-commerce store, because I can do really great things for those people using paid ads. I don't mind the gender, so I'm going to say all, regardless of if the individual is male or female. I don't necessarily care. The age, I don't really care either. If they're a young entrepreneur, I don't mind working with them, or if they're older, that's fine too. Locations, I don't want to limit myself to New Jersey, so I'm going to press the X button there, and then in this location section, I'm going to type in United States. Okay, now it's selected the entire United States. Something I want you to note is that it says your audience selection is fairly broad. Potential audience size is 190 million people. My recommendation for running ads is to get that number between 500,000 and 2 million. That's kind of the sweet spot, depending on how what your budget is, etc. That could shift, but I would say that's a sweet spot for audiences. It is defined enough that the audience should be specific, but it's not so defined that you won't be able to run it for an extended period of time. So if I scroll down, the other option here is detailed targeting, include people who match. Now, let's assume that I want to target entrepreneurs and business owners, but specifically within the e-com niche. How do I target these people? Right now, I'm only targeting pretty much anyone in the United States, which isn't that helpful. So that in the detailed targeting section, I'm going to start by typing in entrepreneurs. And I'm going to select entrepreneurship as an interest. It's that first one right there. Now, this reduces my potential audience size down to 39 million, which is still way too big. But this is a good one. So now this is people that at least have an interest in entrepreneurship. They have shown that they research those types of articles. They do that type of behavior in the eyes of Facebook. Now, what we need to do is get this number down further. So we're going to click on narrow audience. Narrowing the audience is going to essentially make it so that people have to match entrepreneurship and something else. So we'll go through that in a second. You could also choose exclude people. That's kind of, that's an interesting one because it says, hey, look, anyone that fits this mold should not be included. I don't use exclude people too much. I use narrow audience a lot. So I'm going to click on narrow audience, and I'm going to type in, well, let's see. I want to target someone who is higher up in the company. So let's just target the CEO. You can see Chief Executive Officer right there in interests. Oops, sorry. We could target Chief Executive Officer in interest. This is more people that show an interest in the Chief Executive Officer position, not necessarily their job title. You'd know that because this says interests and not employment status or job title. It would say one of those things on the right-hand side. This, since it says interests, this is people that actively research CEOs and stuff like that. I'm still going to choose it because I think it shows the right type of person. Potential audience size is 7 million now. It's still a little too big, so I'm going to narrow it a little bit further. And this is, now I'm going to select people that fit the e-commerce mold, people that show an interest in e-commerce. So I'm going to do e-commerce, and then I'm going to select the e-commerce as the interest. There's a ton of options here, although I don't see anything that specific. I'm going to select e-commerce, and now our potential audience size is 2.2 million. It's still a little bit too big. We could probably run this though and see how it performs. And so now I'm just going to spend a second to play around with this audience size and see if I can get it down a little bit further. The problem is by narrowing further, you're adding another layer of filtering, and that tends to have a compounding effect. So this could very quickly drop down to 100,000 or something. But let's see, if we can't find anything, I would probably just run this audience. So for this audience, let's also have it match. I'll tell you what, let's have it match. Actually, this is a great point to explain something. You need to get creative when you think about your targeting, right? Just targeting the CEO of a company isn't good enough, right? You want to try to target things about that person that are going to be unique, right? So let's give an example. Let's show you a fairly creative, or at least a little bit more creative example. Right now, we're pretty straightforward. People that are into entrepreneurship, people that are interested in the chief executive officer position, people that are interested in e-commerce. Now, what is a status symbol of people that are successful business owners? Because they tend to have the most money for marketing. What if we typed in Rolex? People that show an interest in Rolex, right? The brand, I mean, they have expensive taste. So maybe this is something that that could be a qualifier of people that were successful business people. Maybe we would target Lamborghini. I don't know how to spell it the right way. Interests. People that are interested in Lamborghinis and Rolexes. These are the people that are at least want to be successful. They have aspirations of being successful. I'm at 430. This is really targeted. This isn't just the person that, started their own business or whatever. This is the person that has dreams. They have big dreams, and they're probably in e-commerce or interested in it. They're probably interested or they are a chief executive officer. I would run this. It's a little small at 430,000, but I think we could still run it. And we would probably just have to keep in mind that this would potentially burn out quicker than other audiences would. So we would want to check the frequency, and we'll get into that in another video. But I would say this is a fairly good audience to test for myself. So now what I would do is go up to the top, and I would press the save button right there. And now you can see that I have my people chosen through targeting. I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and it's going to show me how many people I'm going to reach a day. I'm going to reach between 130 and 370 people on $1 a day. And then we're good to go. So at this point, we could launch this boosted post by just pressing the boost button right there. And it would be approved by Facebook within the next day or so, and we'd be able to see the results from the dashboard and the business manager. Now, that deserves its own video, understanding the analytics behind a Facebook ad, and so we'll go into that another time. But with that being said, that is how to boost a post. I hope this was helpful. Please ask any questions that you have. We love to help out with this sort of thing. And getting your brain in the right mindset to choose demographics and think creatively is definitely something that's difficult to do. But when you get the hang of it, it can be truly powerful. All right, guys, have a great one. I'll talk to you next time.